What's up, everybody? As you might know, I like to invest in the stock market. Today I'm going to be sharing you the skills and detailed techniques that I use to find stocks. First things first, we're going to pop on our headset, get some funky tracks playing. This is an enjoyable thing for me, so got to be enjoying some nice tunes at the same time. Just in case you thought I was lying, here it is. Follow me on Spotify. All right, so when I'm looking for a new stock, I'm usually going to head on over to YouTube first. And I've got 3 channels I like in particular. Financial Education. This guy does a lot of news. I don't really respect his opinion all that much, but he's always up to date. Learn to Invest. This guy's a very safe investor, likes dividends, and really goes super in depth. As you can see, he doesn't have a lot of viewers on his videos, so he really puts in a lot of care and always answers you in the comments. And this guy, Sven Carlin, he's a real genius. This guy spends all day reading about the stock market, and he's a very technical investor. You're never really going to go wrong, at least hearing out his advice. Here's an example of a time where a video actually got me to buy a stock. So the video didn't do it by itself. I watched the video and took what Jimmy had to say into account, and then I Googled weed companies and picked my favorite ones. And then after I had that list compiled, I Googled their market capitalization and their projected growth in kilograms in the year 2020, because they're all ramping up their production. And I came up with a list. So this is the list that I compiled. I basically see plotted here their market capitalization and then their projected growth in kilograms in 2020. And then in my head, I just kind of divided them out. Crossed out the stocks that I really don't like, Kronos Group, Tilray, and Canopy Growth. And then these 4 right here are the ones that were still on my list. And then I narrowed further to Aphria, which is like a value play, and Aurora, which is a big growth company. And I eventually made the buying decision to go with Aphria. Now remember, guys, nobody's forcing me to do this. I'm enjoying reading about all this stuff and really getting a firm grasp for what's going on in the business world. So for me, when I'm doing my research, it's important to kick back and have a little bit of fun. Breaks are important. Now that I got the groove out of my system, I can get back into my investing research. I've got assets in all kinds of areas. I'm all in. Sometimes it pays to play. Another thing I like to do is keep my eyes on recent IPOs, such as Lyft, and my personal favorite IPO right now, Jumia. Go into Google here and search Jumia IPO filing. Go to the one that's on sec.gov, and we've got like a 100-page document. And I like to use the table of contents, if we can find that. Oh, there's the table of contents. And go to risk. The potential risks is usually one of these. Let's see. Risk factors. So I like to read the risk factors first. So after reading through the risk factors associated with an IPO, I like to go to their financial and operating data and just look at their cash flows. And obviously it's important to take a lot of things into consideration when looking at an IPO, because, you know, Jumia is an e-commerce company that's in Africa. So they're a brand new tech startup. They're going to be losing money for the foreseeable future. So you can't really just look at things like profit and say, oh, this isn't a profitable company, it's junk. You got to look deeper at things like revenue growth, margin expansion, and something that's important for Jumia in particular is delivery rate, because of all the instability in African governments. And theirs is 95%, so that stuff all checks out. Just doing your research and really kind of thinking outside the box, because you're not just going to see an obvious answer ever in an IPO. So as you guys can see, a lot of thought goes into selecting stocks for me. If you want to find out more information about some more resources I use, such as fastgraphs.com, just shoot me an email, check out the contact page, and I'd love to talk about stocks. Thanks for watching, guys.